Hey, this is JR, the TechSpat OTG. When I started out on YouTube, I didn't know if I'd stay with it or not, and that was 6 years ago. I certainly didn't want to spend a lot of my money on getting set up to edit, and my camera situation was such that I had a smartphone. That was about it. I did buy a little Sony camera after that, which I still got and I still use. I'd like to share with you the software choices that I made and also about the hardware that I run it on. It's all kind of grown with me, and I've pretty much stayed with the same stuff for the last 6 years. Most of the software, actually all of the software is free, and it just doesn't take a lot of power to run it. Maybe it'll be something that'll help you along as you discover the editing challenges that are there when you make a YouTube video and thumbnails. First of all, when I started, I had an i5 laptop and I didn't know what would run on it, and I had no idea about editing software, and I looked at all the choices that would run on my Linux laptop that were free, and most of them seemed kind of amateur. And then I ran across one called Kdenlive. Yeah, it was pretty good. It looked like a real nonlinear editor like I'd seen before in professional situations. Kdenlive was definitely worth trying. It was easier than some of the others, but it had all the features that I needed, and I decided to give it a try. It was also available in a couple of Linux formats, AppImage and Flatpak. And I really like AppImages because they're just a file that you can put on your computer and set it to run, and the whole program runs. It's really great. When I found out that Kdenlive was available as an AppImage, oh man, that was it. I was sold. And the price was right, free. Well, first I want to show you a little bit about how I set up my computer for doing my editing. Over the years, I've limited what I do down to 3 applications that I use to produce all my videos. If I need something that another application will do that my applications won't do, I'll usually download the software, do that one thing, and then uninstall it because I probably won't use it again. So here's a look at my Linux desktop. I have the programs that I run in one spot, and I have the web apps that I run in another spot. There's 2 rows of identical applications on here. The first row is the old version of the application that ran pretty good. The second row is the new version of the application, the latest version. I like to keep the latest version and one version back in case I find a bug or something that's changed for the worst in a new application. But the old application's still there, and I can still use it and fix whatever problems I have. So let's talk a little bit about Kdenlive. Well, it may look like I've been working on the video, but I haven't. For the last 2 days it's been raining, and we just don't get to record audio when it's raining around here. These houses all have metal roofs, and it sounds like a drum when it's raining. So I've been off for a couple of days, and this is my first day back. Let's start back with Kdenlive. Kdenlive is the editor that I use, and it's a pretty good one. I actually recorded my first video and edited it about 2 days after I started using Kdenlive. So I was real pleased with that. It's simple, and you can get a basic edit out real easy. Now, if you want to get fancy, it's got all the features to get fancy, but I don't use those much. I'm kind of a simple editor. I just cut and fade and dissolve and things like that. As far as special effects go, I don't use them much. I do use the titler quite a bit, and I use the audio features. It has a full suite of audio features and automatically syncs your video. So I really like it. I record all my sound separate, so the audio sync feature is something I always use. I usually take my long clips, put them in Kdenlive, sync them, and then use Audacity to do my fine tuning. After I tweak it in Audacity, it doesn't require much else. All I have to do before I finish is normalize the audio, and I'm ready to go. Audacity is a pretty good audio workstation. I use it quite a bit. Actually, my audio doesn't usually require a lot of work because I do the same thing all the time. I use the same equipment. I'm used to it. It comes second nature now. The audio that I get, I think, is pretty good. Here's a look at Audacity. It's a pretty simple layout. Actually, there's a lot more in Audacity that you can do than what I do. I just clean up my audio, take out the uhs and ahs and ohs and things like that. And I use the compressor and the equalizer. That's about it. After I finish, I take the clip out, take it over to Kdenlive and sync it up with the video, and I'm ready to go. Once it's synced, I can slice it up in little pieces and the audio stays with it. So there's no more syncing to do after that. The last thing I do is I usually make a thumbnail. Sometimes I use original photography, and sometimes I just use clips from my video. Kdenlive has a nice feature that'll let you take a frame out and convert it to a JPEG. So I can take a frame from the video and then load it into Inkscape. Inkscape's my last step before I publish the video. It's a real good little editor for working with graphics and images and things. It's not a full-featured thing where like Photoshop where you can just do anything to a picture. It's simple and effective. And I'm able to use it to do all of my thumbnails, and probably they're not the best in the world, but I don't have to spend all day on them either. Inkscape's a good program. Now all three of these programs, Kdenlive, Audacity, and Inkscape, are free. They're all downloads I got off the internet. They all run in Linux, and I think most of them run in Windows, or all of them run in Windows. They're pretty easy to use. I'm pretty happy with them. So happy with them that as I have finalized on these three programs, I really haven't changed a lot. I haven't tried anything else. I've been using these programs for 3 or 4 years. I haven't changed them. Kdenlive from the very beginning. The other thing I wanted to talk about, for doing your editing with Kdenlive, the program runs on a processor and not on a graphics card. So it does all its renderings on the processor. Your processor speed is important. Without a serious GPU, you can still run the program and render out. I've used it on an i5 laptop and it's just performed fine. The other thing that I want to talk about is spending a lot of money on monitors and color accurate monitors and speakers and monitor speakers and things like that. When you edit, you get used to what you've got and you kind of know what the result's going to look like. Most of the people that are watching your YouTube output are watching it on a smartphone. And after you do a few projects, you'll learn what your audio is going to sound like and you'll learn what your video is going to look like using your editor. Spending a lot of money on the speakers and on the monitor, it doesn't really make a lot of sense. If you've got a good quality monitor, I've got a Dell monitor and I've got some Edifier speakers, and the Edifier speakers sound great. It sounds the same if I was playing music or watching a TV show or something on it. So I figure it's okay. And once you get it on YouTube, it kind of doesn't matter. It's gonna sound like it sounds on YouTube. That's just the way it is. Getting used to your stuff is probably more important than buying expensive stuff and expecting that you're gonna get some kind of extra spectacular results on YouTube. Save your money. Anyway, that's kind of my advice on starting your editing. I do think if you start off like this and it doesn't work for you, you can always upgrade. DaVinci Resolve is a great editor. It does a lot of things. It's really complicated. They say it's simple. It's not. There's audio workstations out there that you can get. There's all kinds of things. There's plenty of graphics programs. If you settle on something, stick with it. Then you can turn out your projects really fast. Also, another thing, try to get your color as good as you can in the camera. Color grading is time consuming, and you sure don't want to be doing that on every video. If you just enjoy color grading, hey, go ahead and do it, but it's really a time consuming thing. And probably nobody's going to know you did it. Usually the results you get out of the camera are good enough for most people that are viewing you on YouTube. Anyway, this is JR, the TextPat OTG. Hope I gave you some hints that you'll appreciate. I'll see you in the next one. Thank y'all for watching. If you want to help support the channel, we have Patreon and we have Buy Me a Coffee. It's in the description below the video.